The moment I finished Watch Dogs 1, I loved Aiden's anti-hero story and the dystopian future of mass surveillance so much so that I instantly downloaded Watch Dogs 2 the moment I finished Watch Dogs 1. But here's the sad part, right? I mean, just after playing it for 30 minutes, I wanted to uninstall it while I was playing the prologue mission. Everything seems different, and it wasn't different in a good way, or at least the way I expected it to be. First of all, I think while stealth may be one of the combat options, Watchdog games are meant to be played as a stealth game, and incredibly rewarding and better if you do so. So, what exactly was the problem? As the title suggests, it is stealth. That's the reason I wanted to uninstall it immediately. It doesn't matter how beautiful the environment or alive the San Francisco world is, if the gameplay loop is bad, in my opinion. I mean, that's what makes a game a game. Watch Dogs 2 stealth is so bad. There's no good feeling of finishing a target, the enemy AI is janky, and they shifted the entire stealth system from 1, for worse in my opinion. As a result, there's so many annoying things that made me feel that way, but let's unpack them one by one, shall we? I was extremely frustrated because I could never execute a perfect stealth like I did in the first game at all. But first, let's define stealth and talk about its different types. Stealth means completing your objective and dealing with enemies without anyone noticing you were ever there. I would broadly divide stealth as three categories: social stealth, silent stealth, and gadget stealth. These are just broad categories I made up, but they overlap with each other a lot. For example, the entire Hitman series is a major social stealth game, minoring in silent and gadget stealth. The game involves in executing in plain sight with an observable audience. You can do this by stealing someone's identity or engineering so called accidents that never get traced back to you. There's also Watch Dogs 1, which was more of a common silent stealth game that I enjoyed thoroughly, especially planning out those gang hideouts or finding enemy position and precisely killing them, either by a melee weapon or silenced pistol. Stealth felt completely new and weird compared to either of these games, and was bad until I understood it. With how different the stealth is, I got completely range baited, honestly. Rage baited, I mean. I couldn't really understand why things did not work the way they worked. To be fair, part of the problem is for me to have such expectations as the successor of the franchise. And it did not help that I immediately jumped to the next game after finishing the first game with zero gaps and zero other games played. I think I realized how Assassin's Creed fans felt after franchise completely changed from a stealth ninja assassin type game to a complete RPG. Although Assassin's Creed Origins is a great game as an RPG, the expectations of a franchise can change how you outlook and perceive the game since you already do in a negative context already. It's become a common enough take at this point. A good RPG but a bad Assassin's Creed game. It seems like Ubisoft decided to change things up completely with Watch Dogs as well. I mean, they had good reason to. The Watch Dogs 1 E3 trailer was a failure due to the downgraded graphics and such, and as a result, people hated the franchise already. So it does make sense to change things up completely. Watch Dogs 1 may have a similar health bar, but it had much stronger weapons such as a grenade launcher, or a variety of weapons, or the multiple types of bombs that were present. And it also had focus as well, which slowed down time, so you could accurately shoot a headshot, which made not only a gun blazing approach possible, but also stealth much more enjoyable. So it drives me mad that I can't just kill all the enemies in the map honestly, like I did in every mission of Watch Dogs 1. I don't want to be forced to play a pacifist or no guns blazing routes either. Watch Dogs 2, however, has none of these, so obviously gadget stealth makes the most sense. Of course, some of you may object to me and talk about these viral videos of silent executions with that so called yo yo that Marcus has. But there is a problem in this. If you notice these viral videos, you catch a pattern. And that comes to my second point, which I dislike. It's the enemy AI. It's incredibly janky and stupid. Now, even in the so called skilled master stealth videos that we see in online, they constantly get caught by the enemies, so they resort to blackout or other skills, etc. Which is again kind of sad. This is not due to the fact that these players are bad, but rather that the enemy AI is incredibly janky. Even an enemy a mile away would probably find me out in like a point 0.5 seconds for no reason, even though I didn't even aim at him or shoot at him. It's incredibly frustrating and annoying. And after that, the whole map gets called out even with more reinforcements, and I have to again start my perfect stealth playthrough again, which is again annoying. Overall, a combination of these factors make Watch Dogs 2 combat and gameplay loop bad. I will admit though, the Watch Dogs 2 driving is much better than, I mean, a million times better than Watch Dogs 1. There's no denying it. So, let's get to the second part of the video, which is why do I like it now? What changes I make that made me like it now? Well, while all of the critics were true so far, as I progressed the game and unlocked more skills, the game became much more interesting because of these skills, these specific skills, which I'll discuss now. I realized my stupidity as well, since the game's intended design is to play with gadgets still. And I only took it superficially before, but now I'm playing with gadgets specifically. But now the game is much more enjoyable because I never let Marcus do any stealth, but rather only operate the gadgets for combat and completing the missions as well. So, what were the skills that achieved this? Well, it's the whole skill tree of gadgets in RC. These skill trees unlock me to use an electric grenade or explosive grenade, and increase their using time as well, and reduce the cooldown as well for the gadgets. These pretty much neutralize the enemy or kill them outright much more easily. The gameplay loop becomes much more fun because Marcus is now an actual hacker who remotely monitors everything and doesn't even enter the enemy's hideout. He simply remotely kills everyone who he wants to, and obviously completes the mission objective. That's why we play the game, right? Not to kill everyone. Um, if I want to steal the mission data, I can simply use the RC and use blackouts occasionally as well to sneak in. Once I realized that Marcus did not have to be there, it became much more exciting. So, if you hated it before and are hesitating whether to give it another chance, I would highly recommend playing strictly with gadget stealth to feel that invincible stealth feeling again. So, yeah, I mean, a beginner tip would be that please invest in the gadget stealth whenever you get the research points. So, ultimately, I mean, I would suggest don't be like me and try to play the game as Watch Dogs 1 or have the expectations of a Watch Dogs 1 game. It's a different game with a different mechanics for, better or worse. Although, again, the enemy AI is incredibly janky. I genuinely want to sue these guys for this kind of janky AI. But again, there's a non-moddable fix we can do, which is to hack the enemy's phone so that he gets distracted. That's probably the best so-called fix you can have to solve that. So I hope you do the same, and thanks for watching.